In this video, everything you need to know when booking a holiday to Golf del Sur in Tenerife. This includes the beaches, the restaurants, the nightlife, what there is to see and do, where to stay, the weather and much more. But also a few warnings as well as some money saving tips to make your next holiday here with us in Tenerife perfect. Let's start first with the beaches and the places that you can swim here, because the Golf del Sur is not one of Tenerife's strongest beach destinations. The main beach near the marina is Playa San Miguel de Abona. It is a rocky and pebble beach rather than a wide stretched and soft sand beach. What is nice here is that the restaurants and cafes are all nearby. The only thing I do want to point out is that entering the water can be less comfortable, especially without suitable beach shoes. Near the Barcelo Tenerife area is Playa de San Blas. This beach has a mixture of more lighter sand, some rocks and volcanic scenery. It can provide a change from the harbor beach, but it is still not the type of classic sandy beach shown in many holiday brochures. Also, it seems like each time I get to this beach over the years there is less and less sand there, so I wouldn't be expecting much to be left over next time you visit. Along the coastline there are also some small rocky coves and places where people sunbathe and swim. These can be enjoyable when the sea is calm, but they are less convenient for young children and anyone with limited mobility. Playa de Los Abrigos is another option in the direction of the fishing village of Los Abrigos. This is a more typical sandy beach. For a more traditional beach day, you will probably want to travel elsewhere, but there are good options nearby. But what about the restaurants in the Golf del Sur? Well, this area has a surprisingly good selection for being such a small holiday destination. The main concentrations are around the San Blas shopping area and near the marina at Playa San Miguel de Abona. You can find all kinds of different food here: British-style cafes and pubs, Spanish restaurants, Indian food, Italian menus, steakhouses and also casual family dining. Prices are often lower than in Costa Adeje and Playa de las Americas nearby. But the lower prices do not necessarily mean lower quality. The difference is that many places here operate at a more everyday Tenerife price rather than the premium beachfront tourist rates. For fresh fish and a more local evening, it is definitely a great idea to walk on over to Los Abrigos. This village is known for restaurants beside the water and feels more authentically Canarian. This area has some great restaurants with local seafood as well as fresh fish. But many of the locals living nearby, of course, also know this, so do know, especially in the weekends, that you might have to reserve a table before going. Golf del Sur in generally works very well for a budget-friendly self-catering holiday because supermarkets and casual food options are easy to find. So where should you stay in the Golf del Sur? Well, San Blas is the more practical area because you simply have more restaurants and evening and a little bit of nightlife close by. If you're staying on the marina end, then it's more for coastal walks and a quieter atmosphere, while of course accommodation near the golf course will suit golfers and a hotel-focused holiday much better. While I generally don't want to name too many names here because it can change over time, the hotels, how good they are. If you do want to have some names, I can definitely advise you Barcelo Tenerife, Santa Barbara Golf and Ocean, Bahia Principe Fantasia Tenerife, but do know that all of these are for a specific type of person, a specific type of budget. They are not for everyone, so if you want to get the full picture of which one is best for you, have a look on my website checkedholidays.com instead. So how is the nightlife here? Well, the nightlife is mostly concentrated around the San Blas shopping center. You will find plenty of international bars here, live music, tribute acts, sports, karaoke and family-friendly entertainment. Near the marina, evenings are more about dinner and drinks with an ocean view. Do not expect large clubs or a late night party strip in the Golf del Sur because you will simply not find that here. This area is more for a social evening, not all-night clubbing. For a much livelier nightlife, travel to Playa de las Americas, which is not too far away and definitely possible with a taxi. This quieter atmosphere is an advantage, especially for the golfers who like to stay here, couples, families and older travelers who want entertainment without constant noise next to their bedroom. What is there to see and do in the Golf del Sur? Well, obviously most of this area, given the name, is about the golf courses here, so it's excellent for those who want to play golf. If you're not into golf, there's also plenty of people staying here who are not into it. And there's also a great marina from where you can do fishing, diving, jet skiing and all kinds of imaginable water sports. Then there's also Los Abrigos nearby, which is one of the easiest excursions. You can easily walk there and it's really a completely different sign of scenery. Also, it's great to have dinner there. If you want to explore further, then there's also plenty of routes walking or hiking towards Costa del Silencio, Las Galletas and the Montaña Amarilla area. These are exposed walks with limited shade, so definitely carry water and avoid going during the midday heat. Nearby Costa Adeje and Playa de las Americas there is also plenty of other parks to visit, like the Monkey Park, Jungle Park, Camel Park, Sea and Water Park and many others. So what is the best way to get from the airport in Tenerife to the Golf del Sur area? Well, it is one of the closest destinations to the airport, so it is quite easy to get there. One way is to take the public transport, which will cost you €2.50, but do know that it is not the best connection. You might have to wait a long time to get on the bus, and also the bus will take a lot of stops on the way there, so it might take you over an hour basically to get to your final destination. If you're really traveling on a budget, that could be a good option. If you have a couple of euros more, I would more advise you to book a shuttle bus before online instead, because they will simply take better care of your luggage. They will also wait for you if your flight gets delayed, and they will also drop you off at your actual hotel reception, not some random bus stop. The price for this is about €10 per person. Another option is to take a taxi at the airport. The only thing you have to know about this is it costs €18 at the starting price. If you're traveling during the weekend or in the evening, the price will be more. And also know that it takes maximum 4 people per taxi. If you're traveling on a Sunday or on the evenings, it might actually be better to book a taxi before online. Also, if you need child safety seats, or if you have a lot of luggage with you, or if you're traveling more than 4 people, this is the best way. A taxi before online will cost you about €57, but that is a set price and will not go up. Know that the prices and conditions mentioned here can change. Therefore, I will leave a link below this video in the description as well as in the comment section to my website, where you can find the most up-to-date information about prices and conditions. You can also find there a link to the companies I would advise you to book a taxi or a shuttle with. These are also the companies that I use when visiting Tenerife. Should you rent a car when staying in the Golf del Sur or not? Well, if you're just here for the golfing, then definitely you do not need to rent a car. But know that if you're here for the full Tenerife experience, many of the great attractions like CM Park are nearby, but the free bus doesn't pass in this area, and the public buses, they are not so easy to use to get there. So for these reasons, it is definitely worth renting a car. And also, if you're staying here a week or longer, I would advise you to rent a car, simply because this area can come a little bit monotone and all the same after a while, as there's not really that much to do for a long holiday. If you do want to rent a car, have a look on my website at checkedholidays.com/cars, where I give you some vital car rental tips as well as some tips and tricks to avoid things like upselling, extra charges. Also, you will find a 10% discount for car rental there. What is the weather like here and when is the best time for you to go? Well, the Golf del Sur has the warm, generally dry climate of the southern Tenerife and can therefore be visited all year round. However, it is often a bit more windy than the more sheltered western resorts on the island. This can feel refreshing in the summer but cooler during winter evenings. It is especially a good idea to bring a light sweater or a light jacket, especially from late autumn to early spring. The month of May can offer low prices and a quiet atmosphere. June and September normally provide excellent weather, great prices and a more active resort. July and August are hotter and busier because of the school holidays, but still not as busy normally as during the winter months. October can also be great value, but just keep in mind that some places here might close down during that month for either renovations or holidays. Tenerife is a great place to go on holiday, but here follow a couple of warnings to make sure you have the best holiday possible in the Golf del Sur area. The first thing you should know when visiting the Golf del Sur is that the Golf del Sur is extremely close to the South Airport, not to the North Airport. The difference is only one letter, it's TFS and TFN. So make sure you fly to the right airport, otherwise you're adding an extra 100 kilometers to your transfer time and also cost. One of the most important things to understand here that most of the coastline is rocky or pebbly, so I would not advise you to visit here if you expect a classic holiday with a long sandy beach directly in front of your hotel. For this reason, it is extremely important to check if your hotel has the right amenities, as most of the time you will be staying in the hotel and not on the beach. Also know that the Golf del Sur area is quite close to the airport, so depending on the day and how the wind is, you can have some noise here from either airplanes landing or taking off, but in general I don't find it so bothersome, and most people who stay here a week after one day, they don't even notice anymore. So who is this area of Tenerife the best for? Well, for those looking for a relaxing and mostly budget-friendly holiday destination with a very quick airport transfer, the Golf del Sur is ideal. It is especially ideal if you are a golfer, but you don't have to be to enjoy this area. Those looking for a clubbing scene, extensive wide sandy beaches or lots of shopping options will find this area normally less interesting, and it might be better for you to go somewhere else. To make sure your next holiday is perfect, have a look at this page on my website checkedholidays.com/guides, where you can find all the companies I like to travel with, some discount codes as well as some tips and tricks to make your holiday even better, or have a look at this video.